space.
Fernando, what is up?
Hey guys, how you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you?
Good, good. Good to talk to y'all. Good to see you again. It's been a while.
Awesome, man. How's Pensacola?
It's going good. It's going good. You know, I'm working hard. I'm taking some action. So I just want to tell you guys what I've been doing, and I have a few questions if you're okay to help me out.
I think we're okay. I think we're okay with it. You're good, man.
So I just want to tell you guys, I got my Bandit signs. If you want to look at them right there.
I like it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I got them right there. I ordered 50 of them, like you guys said, just to start out, get a feel for it, get a feel for them.
Wait, can I see them one more time? Cover the phone number if you want.
I'm sorry?
Can I say it one more time?
Cover some of your phone numbers.
Yeah, cover the phone number real quick.
Like the last digit or something.
Yeah, let me see the full thing. So take it to your, all right. All right, that looks good. You only got 50, right?
Yeah.
All right, for the next, get those out and see how they do. Is it one-sided or two-sided?
One-sided.
All right.
Smart.
The one thing I have found, which that's perfect, man. The one thing I will tell you is you need to make that phone number way bigger.
Okay.
And you got to make the text bigger. So like, I like the house thing that looks nice. Keep it simple, dude. Like,
yeah.
My best deals from Bandit signs are always the stupid simple ones. We buy houses cash.
Yeah.
Huge phone number.
Yeah.
And we used to put the phone number on the top if the grass is too high.
In the summertime.
And so those will work. I'm always, the bigger the phone number, the better. So that blue one's really cool. I would probably, like, if you do some deals from it, try like a white on blue, white on black. What was it? Yellow and then black on it. But yeah, FYI, that's just what I do on the next batch you order.
For sure.
The phone number is the most important part.
You got to make it bigger.
And that's why we try to stop you at 50, because there's a learning curve.
Yeah.
For sure.
I started out doing Bandit signs. I taught him how to do it. I'm going to tell you, graphics, nobody cares about graphics on Bandit signs. I'm just telling you the truth. So
it looks good.
I like it. So the only thing I tell people do not put on the Bandit sign is put "we buy houses." It numbs people. So
we buy houses cash.
You have your name on it, which is, I don't remember what the top said. That's fine.
Fernando buys houses.
Correct.
The one thing I would tell you though, Fernando, is he's got it right there. Those look great. The one thing you're going to get a call on, I'm just telling you, which you already know, is going to be code enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Ring, ring. Hey, is this Fernando?
Yeah.
Now, you're going to have to say yes. And there ain't no line.
Yeah, that's the only part that's you kind of like pigeons.
But they're going to ask, hey, who are you, Fernando? What's your address? Who's your name? What's your full name? All this stuff. You ain't giving that. All right.
Yeah.
No,
we're using a DBA, man. All right. If you like pigeonholed, I would put your like a middle name or like a random last name if you want, but like you got to make sure. Well, this is Fernando. We work with Fernando buys houses. Are you looking to sell your property? If they don't answer that, I'm giving some basics because they're going to try to get your address and then try to get you fines and stuff.
Okay. They're aggressive, but
dude,
like
I put out not tens of thousands, but like thousands and thousands of signs.
We used to have our own printing press. Like I probably have
$25,000 still outstanding in fines, quote unquote.
Yeah, it was.
But
bad.
I've avoided every time because they got really frustrated with me. So if you have someone off the bat just trying to get your info, be very careful.
Well, just go through your qualifying questions because a city employee will never take the time to answer them. Like so. If you stick to your guns, it's fine. And start out with 50 and then take note of what works and what doesn't. I have my simple advice for any type of Bandit signs is don't worry about graphics. Make the phone number as big as you humanly possibly can get away with.
Okay.
And
those will work though.
Yeah. Try to keep everything to 3 lines. So like 1 line, 2 line, and your phone number is the 3rd line. There's no more room on these signs.
Okay.
So you just throw them out there. You guys would be shocked how good these signs work. And if you're like, well, they're expensive. I'm telling you, if you can find someone that will sell you the whiteboards, go to Home Depot, get the black marker, find somebody with good handwriting. If you have doctor's handwriting like me and Zach, don't write it yourself.
Terrible handwriting.
And just do it on one side. And it's like you can whip out 20 signs in 10 or 15 minutes. It's not a big deal. People are like, I'm waiting for money to get Bandit signs. They go like, honestly, at the end of the day, people don't care how like pretty your bandit signs are. It's like, can you help them if they have a problem?
Well, for example, everyone asks us how we find like tenants for our rentals. Legit, like the best tenant
Oh.
we ever have just took the regular yellow sign, sharpied, ready?
Yeah.
House for rent, and put it in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Tenant next day, perfect
It's
job.
so much better than any
W2.
Facebook ad because it's all about location.
Yeah.
You're getting people driving the neighborhood. You're getting friends that are visiting the neighbors. Like, man, I'd love to rent next door.
So you find some good deals in a neighborhood, hit it. So
and then put them up in front of. You understand how a bandit sign works? Is when you drive by it, like they got to be going slow enough to be able to write the number down. Like they go, oh, well, let's take a picture with their phone. I go, unless they're at a stop sign or red light, that is not a possibility. So I love Walmart's, Home Depots, any busy shopping centers. What else? Lowe's, anything like that.
But yeah, they work, man. So what are the questions you got?
Yeah, no, I've noticed that, I've been putting them out. And I have been noticing that people have been pulling them out, which is, frustrating. But
I got tips for you, man. I got the tips. I can help you.
Sure. What are they? What are the tips?
All right. So number one, I'm going to get in trouble for this. So I will tell you what my friends have done.
Okay.
I'll tell you what my friends have done. I don't know if I can't say I've ever done this, especially in the past 2 years. I've never done this. I can only tell you what suggestions I've seen from friends. I've had friends, use bandit sign staplers. They just make on Home Depot and staple them to wooden poles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Theoretically, they could stay on there for years, and they might have stayed for years, and I might still get calls today. Other people get a lot more aggressive with it, which I'll tell you, I've not done this in years, and I do not condone it. But
I know what you're about
people
to say.
zip tie them to stop signs. They zip tie them to like crazy things, and they do not get off. They do not.
But if you do that, for all fair, you have to have a two-person operation because somebody's got to drive the car and someone's got to run like a madman.
You could do one. I've done one,
and you typically got to do it in off hours.
And so it's the bandit signs in the middle, and then in the top middle, you just zip tie them off. Then you cut the extra thing on there. Very hard for those to go down. Stop signs, wooden poles. Those work very well if you are sick of people putting stuff off. Because it's usually a runner or like a pedestrian who gets sick of it, just kicks it or something. Or one big one's lawn people that are cutting the grass.
Mm-hmm.
Those run them over. So a lot of zip ties work very well. You got the big thick ones, my friends tell me. It's up to you what you want to do, but those things work very well. And
zip tie them to stop signs?
Yeah, there's holes on the stop sign poles, and you just put them in the middle.
It's most people will not.
Don't cover the stop sign.
Do it, but
yeah.
Listen, it's questionable. Like, is it illegal?
It's a gray area.
It's a gray
Fernando, if someone comes up to you and says, "What are you doing?" I've had the fire department come up to me. A fireman. Mm-hmm. I love the fire department. I love our firefighters. They save lives. They're great. Yeah. I had a firefighter guy come up to me, and he said, "Who are you? What's your information?" I'm like, "Are you a police officer?" I'm a firefighter. I'm like, I just ignore. Like, you don't have. These people aren't detectives. You don't have to answer a firefighter when he comes up to you and just tells you what's right and wrong. I don't care. Like, you're a firefighter. You have no jurisdiction here. I mean, you got a pedestrian saying, "What are you doing?" or whatever. If sometimes I have code enforcement, like they'll come up to you and ask you what you're doing or like whatever. Are you a police officer? No. You have no right to go answer these people. Now, if you have a cop comes up to you, you have to tell the truth. Always say everything.
Yeah, just
but
say, listen, dude,
and
blame it. Go third party. My boss is making me put these out.
I always say
if I don't do it.
I have a firefighter come up to me. I'm like, well, my boss, he tells me to. Who's your boss? He just tells me to do it. A cop's a different story, but like, I mean, just do it. You feel safe, but always experiment. That's all I can say.
And so when I used to do bandit signs for the least amount of resistance in traffic, I would go out in the middle of the night and do it. It was just easy. I don't put in headphones.
You're lucky though, Fernando, because I stopped bandit signs when the masks weren't a thing.
Yeah.
If I was doing it now, my hat, a mask, it'd be great.
Yeah.
I use my face every time.
It is awkward when you walk up to an intersection at like 5:30 with peak traffic.
But he gets to wear like a mask.
People like get all ticked off. Now, listen, if you're going to run around and do the zip tie thing with a partner, you want to try to find off hours. The problem doing it in the middle of the night, I'm going to forewarn you, is if a cop pulls up to you, it doesn't look good when you're running around in the middle of the night. So like wee hours in the morning when the sun's coming up before traffic, you can do a lot of damage. So I used to do it in the middle of the night, and we got questioned so much I stopped doing it, because if you ever been sat there and
But most
interrogated by a
cops don't
police
really
officer,
care. Like, I mean, they're
they
actually
don't. And so they see somebody running from a car, though. You're
no,
gonna
but they're
draw
trying
a
to
flag.
protect you. What I've seen happens best when I do bandit signs, just in general. Walk like you're like you own the place. You're doing nothing because you're
Yeah.
technically not. Like, there's no specific. Like, Port St. Lucie does have laws around it. I don't think Escambia County does. If you just walk in like you know what you're doing and like you have a job and you're actually doing a task, you're fine. I've had people put bandit signs, like one of our bandit sign guys, literally stapling. He was stapling. He's had the cops come at him twice, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just putting signs out." And the cops just like, "Okay," and they go by. It's happened so many times. Just go from authority. You're going to be fine. Now, if you are acting like you're not supposed to be doing something, you're not good. So come from a good way of authority, but I've had so much bandit sign knowledge. I can't share.
Just kill them with kindness. Listen, they work. You get them in front of people. They will call somebody on the comment, been like, why don't you put a website on the bottom? Because websites don't close people.
And then they have your website name, code enforcement.
Yeah,
that's a cake.
You got to have the whole idea is the call,
Just
so
the
you
phone
can
number.
vet them and see if there's any motivation. A website's not going to do that for you. Like, I wish it would, but the reality is it won't.
And it has worked. Like, I've gotten well, funny story. The first person that called was like the first day I started putting them, and it was like, hey, you put this in my lawn, don't do it again. Oh, I'm sorry. And they hung up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't put it in anybody's lawn. I just put them in front of stop signs. So I don't know what that was about. So but
So Fernando, treat every phone call like somebody call. Everybody calls you on an inbound lead because they typically have a problem, and they're scared to tell you what it is. You're going to get some people just kick the tires and waste your time. They're easy to identify, but when someone kind of calls and just like weird stuff, they're basically telling you, go, look, I got a big problem. I'm just trying to see if you're trustworthy that I can even work with. So it's so easy in bandit signs to write everybody off because you get like some real tire kickers. But you just kill them with kindness, because if you assume every lead's bad, when you get that one good one, you will kick it to the curb and you'll never know you just let like a $50,000 deal come apart. Some of my biggest deals in the early part of my career came from bandit signs, and I never forget it. In my area, we were so good at bandit signs. I would like to take full credit. We actually have laws now, that prevents us. Like, I have to go to court, and if I don't show up to court, they issue a warrant for your arrest. So
I'm very proud, though. I've created, from all the counties I've done bandit signs in, I've created at least 15 full-time paying jobs on code enforcement.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of that.
Plus the people we
I
paid
help
to
my
put them out,
community.
everything. It was, but guys, if you can get away with doing bandit signs, not because they really, really do work. So are they controversial? Yeah, for obvious reasons. So
yeah, so yeah, like they work. I see other people, put them out and they stay there. I'm just like, I just gotta be, I guess, consistent, more volume maybe. I don't know.
Consistency is key, man.
Yeah. So the second person that called me from was like a few days later. It was actually like a warm lead. He's like a tire landlord, and
awesome.
He called me and he's like, "Oh, he was Persian, so he had an accent."
Yeah.
So he called me, and then, "Oh, you sell house?" Like, I'm not trying to get no low ball offers from all you. I'm like, no, sir. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I did make mistakes. I got a little bit too excited, and he's like, "Can you come over?" I'm like, and I didn't qualify him, didn't do any. Well, I kind of qualified him, but not really. I was just excited, and it was close to where I live, so I'm like, okay, why not? I'll just go over, meet him, and do all that. I do admit that was a horrible mistake. I shouldn't have done it, but I was excited.
Yeah. So just remember, you got to kind of, when you go and meet with him, you got to always be pulling away, even a little bit on the phone. So a lot of times,
careful.
I used to teach Zach, like, he goes, I got to lead. The guy wants me to come over right now. What do? I go, tell him you have 2 other houses to look at, and you might be able to get there by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And was it a lie? Yes, it was. But the idea is, if I run over there, it's like Pavlov's dog. Now I'm trained. And to take authority, go, listen, you got to, like, even though you're super excited for now, you go like, okay, well, listen, I got a couple other things brewing. What's your availability on this afternoon or something like that? And kind of go from there. So if you get there in 5 minutes, they're going to like, man, boy, you're not very busy, are you?
No, yeah, for sure. Nah, yeah. I dropped the ball there.
You got it. It's okay. You
Yeah,
just
so
learn.
yeah, for sure. And anyway, so it ended up being a duplex. He wanted 200,000 for it, and I actually went back and saw one of y'all's videos. I think on freewholesaling.com or either on the YouTube channel on how to value multifamily, because I'm like, there's not many comps in the area I can get it from. I'm like, I don't know. So what I did is I'm in a RIA group, right? So I joined one of those, and like,
Good.
we're all very supportive. And so I saw one of y'all's videos, and you said to go off what was it, the cap rate?
Yes.
And
Income.
so,
Yeah.
exactly. And so he told me each side rents for $1,200 each
There you
month,
go.
so it's $2,400 a month. And he wanted $200 for the property. So I'm like, okay, so if I'm going off the 1% rule, it's 2,400, 240,000. Maybe this can work. It didn't need much repairs, anything at all. So I went off, the cap rate. I went on my local RIA group. I'm like, hey, local, my cash buyers in the group or investors, what kind of cap rates are y'all looking for your multifamily properties that you would be willing to pay for it? And the only two ones that actually responded to me, and like I went back and forth with, they said that they don't really go off cap rates, because anything less than a 4-unit is still considered like a single family
Yeah.
resident.
Every
But-
buyer is different.
Yeah,
You
but
go ahead.
that's a technical answer.
Okay.
But honestly, a cap rate is just used for people to figure out what an ROI is, a return on investment. So if I pay 100,000 for a unit and I figure out the cap rate is 12%, can I take that money and bring it to higher and better use? That's all you're doing when you do that. I agree, 4 units or less, but like honestly, it gives you a starting point, and people like, you can say, listen, if you invest in this, you're getting a 12% return. You're just educating your buyers. Some go for it, some don't. Some go, anything under 4 is not really a cap rate. Technically, they're right, but you still have to do some sort of evaluation, right, Fernando? Like,
Okay.
how do you know if it's good or bad?
At the end of the day, you just got to lock it up for the lowest price and give it to a buyer and see what they're going to pay for it. Like, we can get all the analysis into it.
Yeah.
Just lock it up and see what the buyer's going to pay.
But buyers will come back and ask you that. And if you already have the information, it's much easier, and you look much more professional and confident in your ability to be a wholesaler when you go, oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. So at least you're prepared and you get it. Like, cap rates technically shouldn't be figured for anything more, should be 50 units or above if you really want to get into the game. But like, I do them all the time. Like every now and then I look at it, I go, I can't find a comp for this property. Like, what kind of return we get if we bought it for $100,000? Landlords do these analysis all day long. Don't kid yourself.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the bank's legal definition, by the way. 4 units or less, there's no cap rate.
Yeah. So what they that's really good to know, actually, because I was so confused. But I'm glad to hear that. So what we ended up figuring out is that this property has been under 3 wholesalers, and they all dropped the contract or it didn't go through for some reason, because he wanted too much. He wanted for something.
Yeah.
So it's actually worth 170. He wants to at least 200, and the investors I talked to are at least, they only are willing to pay 120. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get this thing under 120. I don't care if I make $1,000. I just want to like close it as much as I can. I offered him 105. And he said no. Either way, it was dead. I just wanted to share that story with y'all. And
so Fernando, one of the comebacks I come back when someone's been under contract with like 2 or 3 wholesalers, like you already know what you got, right? Like you got someone with a wish list, and then you got wholesalers that just want an initial yes. Like they're not educated in how to do the investment game. Whenever they do that, they go, Mr. Seller, are you done playing these games? Because at the end, like if he truly wants to get it sold, he knows he needs a contract that's going to stick. We've already proven these numbers don't work.
mm-hmm.
So in order for us to move forward, so just try using that technique. If you guys have if they've been under contract 2 or 3 times, tell them, listen, like I don't want to be in the same boat. We need to find a different approach. So.
Okay. And just so I don't take much of your time, this is where I actually need a little bit of help. So yesterday I was cold calling my code violation list. I got a really good lead. He's an investor, just wants to get rid of one of his like old properties that's not in the best side of town.
Yeah.
He offered me he said that his bottom line was like 65. And I did my comps, and it should, if I did it right, which I actually want to see if I can send y'all the address to the private chat. Maybe you can help me out with this if that's okay. But if I did my comps right, the ARV should be at 100,000, 100 and something thousand, 100.
Have you looked in the property?
Inside, no. I've just talked to him over the phone. I haven't gone in.
Or
He
you
said
have to go inside of it. No, man. Like we can look up ARVs all day and like we can argue first. And I got to see what I don't know what the thing's worth. So the ARV could be $1 million, but if it needs 800,000 in repairs, then like we're just kind of just talking shop.
For sure. Yeah, you're right. Like what I'm thinking about is I'm just estimating from how it looks on the outside. He did say that the inside doesn't look worse than the outside. So I don't know. I'm guesstimating $20,000 in repairs, but that's a total guess. Like there's no logic to that whatsoever based on the square footage and all that.
Did you ask him when the last time he's been inside the property?
Last time he's been inside the property?
Yeah. You'd be shocked to answer some of these landlords. They're like, I haven't been there in 10 years. If they say something like that, you're in for a rude awakening. If he goes, I was just there yesterday and he says it looks good on the inside, then you got something to go with. So
yeah, you can send us it in the chat. We'll tell you. But again, I can tell you whatever number. I don't know what the repairs, on the inside. So I can't even tell what the MAO is going to be.
And that's one of the biggest problems wholesalers deal with. Like sometimes you don't know until you go there. And that's some of the challenge with virtual investing is the inside could be trashed and your numbers are way off.
For sure. Yeah.
Until you get that verification, you're kind of stuck. Yeah, you listen to the clues, but like a tired landlord, it's probably not going to be in great shape.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Well, this isn't the tired landlord. It's the other one. This is just a guy who wants to get rid of his. Should I send it over or
sure, you can send it over
in the private chat?
Send it over, but you're going to have to get inside.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's like doing an algebra problem and you're missing one of the numbers. Until we have that number, you don't know if it's going to work.
I'm already telling you what my answer is going to be. I watched it. You just got to lock this thing up for the lowest and see what a cash buyer is going to pay for it.
Because then you go there and it doesn't meet your expectations. That's your permission slip to renegotiate.
You can always make $5,000 on these deals. So like I'm looking at here. 1 square feet are all off on this one, but it's a 2.2.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a 2.2 and the square feet is 860.
Okay, and what do you think the ARV is?
About 100,000. Because there's three really good ones that sold pretty recently. One's for 100. One is really like it was remodeled and everything. It sold for 130 like about a month ago, 135. I mean, the other one sold like about 5 months ago or 6 months ago. Went for 95, and the other one went for 100 like a month ago.
All right, and this was listed in March. It literally was listed April 2nd, 20 days ago for 70 grand.
65.
65 and then 70.
And he
you know that?
No, on Zillow? Are you looking it up? Let me see.
Realtor.com.
Okay, no. I did not know that. Okay, so it was listed.
It up, man. So I already have statistics saying it's already not selling for 70, so you got to be under that price.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a reason it's
my guess is you lock up at 50 and sell it for 60. That's my guess, but you got to go look at it, man. Like the ARV doesn't even matter anymore. I know what it won't sell for on the market.
It's the inside, which is what you need to find out.
And there's no pics anywhere. So it's bad because he didn't take pictures of it. So get some more info, man. Look up on all the websites, not just Zillow.
Okay.
Just Google like the whole thing and go through every one of them. So
that's it.
All right. Well, yeah.
You got it, Fernando.
You got it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
Okay,
thank you.
I'll see you, man.